Hi guys, welcome to the session. Today we're going to discuss about the second experiment of the data mining lab. And what is the second experiment means? What are the attributes do you think might be a crucial in making the credit assessment and come up with a simple rules in the plain English using the selected attributes. Here you have to identify the what are the main attributes. Do you think those attributes are the very crucial and very important for the generating an assessment? Here we are discussing about the data mining concept, that is in the data mining data set by using the credit data set. For example, first you have to open the WEKA Explorer, load the data set within a credit data set. How to load a data set is already discussed in the previous session. Load the data set, go to the C drive, go to the C drive and program files, load the credit data set, load the credit data set. Why? Because we are doing our experiments by using the credit data set only. So that is the reason we have to load the credit data set. After loading the data set, you have to after loading the data set, check all the attributes of the data set. Check all the attributes of the data set. Here you have an overall 21 attributes are there in our data set. In these 21 attributes, first check what are the attributes are there, what is the use of that particular attribute to assign or to take a decision, which attribute is important for taking a decision making. What type of the decision making you have to take means, for example, if you consider, if you for example if you take that you need a loan, that means that the bank has to approve a loan by using these data set. For example, this data set is purely an employer of one college or one any organization working in an employer. So if a person is applied a loan, the particular loan application will be verified by using the overall data set or overall details of that particular person. So the bankers or the bank employers will check all the details of that particular person. So what are the details they are checking means, what are the details they are checking is considered as an attribute. What are the values presented in that particular category will be considered as an instance. So here you have to check that what are the values, what are the attribute main values they're checking means the checking status, duration of the particular loan, credit history of that particular person, why the purpose is required, how much amount he has to take in, what is the saving status, what is the employability status, and installment commitment, personal status. Next, all these are all the attributes. These are the, for example, means these are all the attributes or these are all the categories of that particular person. So you have to see all the values of that particular data set and you have to take a decision which attribute, that means which one is a very crucial and very important attribute for taking any decision. So, according to your view, according to your analysis, which attribute is important and which attribute is not that much of important. So, few attributes will be considered. That means few categories will be considered as more important when you have to sanction. Few things will be not that much of important when you consider with the overall details. So, like this. So, you have to check all the 21 attributes, all the 21 attributes. In these 21 attributes, class is an default attribute. To these class only will decide whether the good or bad of that particular file. So here you have to select all the attributes. That means checking status. Checking status means these attributes will specify, and this attribute will give you that whether it is a checking will be the values or not. That means, for example, in the first instance it is a 0, greater than 0, no checking. So all the values will be there. So here you think checking status is required means you can keep, or the duration. What are the values of that particular duration means it will be considered as in a month, 6 months, 48 months, 12 months, 24 months, 36 months. Like this, the duration of the loan will be considered. So The duration is very important when you want to approve and enroll. Next one is a credit history. The credit history means if a person has any transaction histories are available, means if he already taken the previous loan, if he taken the previous loan in the same bank, how the loan payment will be done, if any check bounces are there, or if any other existing paid are there. So all the things will be there like here. No credits for the previously, all are paid regularly, existing paid is pending, delayed of the previous one, and critical with another. So by basing on these values, you can take a decision whether that particular person or whether the particular file is very important, or that particular file have any negativity of that particular credit history will be identified. So the credit history is also one of the important thing in the decision making. And the next purpose, why he need a loan, why he required a loan to of that particular bank. For example, for me, I need a loan to purchase a bike, or for example, I need an education loan, or to purchase a home or new car. So, according to that particular requirement of that particular thing, the decision will be taken which on which basis we have to pay or not. For example, few people will apply a loan for just and casually to take an less interest. In that cases, the loan is not that much of mandatory to that particular person, so you can skip off that particular thing. So by basing on the purpose also you can give. So next one is a credit amount, how much amount you have to pay and how much amount the loan is required. Saving status. So by basing on all the attributes, you can select those attributes and you can check the what is the minimum values are there, what is the maximum values are there, what is the mean, and what is the standard deviation. So all this basing on all the values, you can select the few attributes is not that much of important, then remove those attributes. Then remove those attributes. According to my view, according to my knowledge, few attributes are not required. That means uh, other parties, non-co-applicant guarantor is not required, and property magnitude is not required. Why? Because in the residency sense only it will use the overall details. Next, other payment plans is required, age is required, housing is required. Housing and residency since it's maybe same as coming, so housing is not required, and existing credits is required. Job is mandatory, and the number of dependents is not that much of important, and own telephone is not that much of important. And a foreign worker, whether the foreign worker means it will come under the placement, that is a job. So foreign worker is also not that much of important according to my view only. The next one is an employability is a more important, and employability and job both will come under the single category. So that's the reason we can skip the job here. So, and the saving status is also important. Credit amount is also important. Purpose, credit history, duration, checking status. So, what are the selected items are not that much of important according to my way. These attributes are not that much of important for taking any decision. So, I am removing these attributes. So I thought out that the 14 attributes are the main and more important to take a crucial decision. So these are all the attributes identified. There's a major importance. Now you have to write on the procedure. Here our topic is, our experiment is, what attributes do you think might be a crucial in making the decision credit assessment? Come up with a simple rules in the plain of English within a selected attributes. According to my procedure is, the first step is open the WEKA Explorer. Click on the Explorer. Under the Pre-Process tab, click on Open File, load the credit data set. Identify the critical attributes to make a decision. Click on the Invert button option and remove the attributes using the Remove option. Justify by the selected attributes of the credit assessment. Here, you have to give the justification why you have selected those attributes. For example, I selected, what is the first attribute I selected? What is the first attribute I selected means checking status. Why the checking status is more important? The first one is checking status. Why the checking status is more important means it is a critical because it determines the amount of the amount of loan to be guaranteed, to be granted. So this is the explanation of that credit status which is given by me. And the next attribute what I selected is duration. So like this, you can write the explanation of the which attribute you think that is a more important, and you have to give the explanation why that is a more important of that particular things. So if you give this type of the explanation process, it will be considered as an overall things. So now this is the second experiment, how to justify and how to analyze the important attributes in that particular selected data set. Okay. Okay, guys, you have to give the explanation. You have to first, you have to write on the aim of that particular experiment. That is, what are the attributes do you think might be a crucial in making the credit assessment, and you have to explain with a plain English. And this is a procedure. You have to select that particular attributes, and you have to remove those attributes, and you can go to the next process. So these are all the 14 attributes are considered as a very important to take any decision. So in this decision making, you can take the these attributes as a decision, and you have to give the explanation what are those attributes you selected, like this with your English. So in the final conclusion is, so I selected the 14 attributes or the very crucial to take any credit assessment and give an analysis of that particular customer. Okay. Thank you guys. We'll see you on the next session.